Democrats appropriated or funded $80 billion for new IRS agents, 87,000 new IRS agents, and at the time, Republicans offered an amendment led by Senator Crapo that would have forced the IRS not to increase audits on people making less than $400,000 per year. Every single Democrat voted against that amendment. And now we find out through the IRS watchdog that the IRS is not going to be able to adhere to the pledge that they made to ensure that people making under $400,000 a year aren't subject to increased audits. Under the guise of agility, they need agility in order to reach their funding goals for the IRS. Well, this is exactly what we suggested was going to happen. That ultimately all that money, all those new IRS agents, we're going to start auditing people making less than $400,000 a year. And it's another byproduct of Bidenomics. What have we gotten with Bidenomics? We got increased audits, you got higher interest rates, crippling inflation, lower buying power, and depleted savings accounts. That's what we get with Bidenomics. That's what the Inflation Reduction Act ultimately has yielded in terms of an outcome and a result, which many of us predicted. The work before us, obviously, this week, as the leader pointed out, is to try and make sure we get the government funded so that we can get a normal appropriations process going where we can have the big policy and funding debates that we should be having through normal appropriation bill debates, where not just members of the Appropriations Committee, but also of our entire caucus have an opportunity through the amendment process to have their voices heard.
Well, the government is on the verge of a shutdown, and the government is currently being operated using the bloated budget of Pelosi and Schumer and Biden from last year, with lots of wasteful Washington spending in it. The American people deserve better. They deserve a government that is open and that works for them. They deserve a government that is open and a border that is closed, which is why Republicans will be working on amendments on what we're dealing with on the floor now that will stop the flow of illegal immigrants coming into this country and stop the flow of illegal drugs that are doing so much damage to the people of this country. But the public deserves a Congress that provides a check on this out-of-control administration and the agenda that's coming out of the Biden administration. The way to do that is to pass 12 appropriations bills. We have a responsibility to do that. And that's why I'm such a proponent of the Prevent Government Shutdowns Act. I have continually co-sponsored this every time over the last 3 Congresses. Simply speaking, this holds the public harmless. And it holds Washington here, Republicans, Democrats, House and Senate here, working day after day, 7 days a week to get all the appropriation bills done, and they can work on nothing else until that happens. This is set up to put the pressure and the punishment on the politicians, not on the public. We need to pass the Prevent Government Shutdowns Act. We need to do it now. That's the way to prevent government shutdowns permanently.
This is important news for all Americans that receive monthly benefits. So a government shutdown may have an impact on SNAP and Medicare benefits. But the USDA has announced more details on the next cost of living adjustment. Many households will be eligible to receive a monthly benefit boost. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for more information. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Now, friends, the Senate voted yesterday to advance a short-term funding measure, which is needed to avert a government shutdown at the end of this week. Though not every lawmaker in the upper chamber was in support, the vote was 77-19, with all 19 in opposition part of the Republican Party. The vote sets the Senate up to pass a continuing resolution later this week, which it could then send to the House to avoid a shutdown on October 1st. If the Senate can pass a continuing resolution later this week, it could put pressure on the House to bring it to the floor, as the lower chamber struggles to make progress on its own. Against the chaos, President Biden warned Republican conservatives of their hardline tactics, saying that funding the federal government is one of the most basic fundamental responsibilities of Congress. And according to the White House, a shutdown would mean potential hardship for a wide swath of Americans, from the military personnel and air traffic controllers who would be asked to work without pay, to approximately 7 million people in the Women, Infants, and Children program, who could lose access to nutritional benefits. However, the Congressional Budget Office has said that there is good news for some, and that includes Medicare recipients. Major government programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, members of a category known as mandatory spending, will be largely unaffected because Congress has indefinitely approved spending for those programs. AARP has said in an official statement, Medicare services would largely continue as normal. However, the longer a shutdown lasts, the greater the chance that Medicare providers will see a lag in payments. For Medicare recipients with specific questions on how the shutdown may affect them, here is what is known. According to AARP, even during a federal shutdown, Medicare members can still see their doctors, go to the hospital, and fill prescriptions. The organization has also said that even a prolonged shutdown would not be expected to affect the ability of beneficiaries to review their plans and make any changes. Every year, the United States Department of Agriculture raises the monthly payments sent out to beneficiaries of the SNAP program. It is one of the country's largest social assistance programs. This increase is part of a program of cost of living adjustments designed to ensure that SNAP benefits keep pace with inflation. Thanks to a combination of inflation, crisis-related supply chain disruptions, and tariffs on certain foreign imports, food prices have steadily risen since 2020. But inflation has been slowing in the past year, and the latest data shows that the cost of groceries are not rising as fast as they once were. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, grocery prices have increased 3% over the last year. Eggs are an example of how much prices have fluctuated. The average price of a dozen eggs came down from $4.82 per dozen in January to $2.67 in May. But that price is still 38% higher than at the start of 2022. And it's not just eggs. The prices of many grocery store items have risen over 20% since the start of 2022. The USDA will begin sending the 2024 COLA adjusted benefit amounts in October, when the fiscal year for the federal government begins. If inflation stays at their current levels, then American households that receive SNAP benefits, who reside in the 48 states and the District of Columbia, will see a 3.5% increase applied to their benefits. The maximum amount that an individual can receive will rise from $281 to $291 a month, while the most that a household of four can be paid will increase from $934 to $973. The SNAP increase for beneficiaries in Alaska will be around 6.5%, whereas those in the state of Hawaii will see their value of their benefits fall by 2%. Well, my marvelous and most magnificent friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dearest friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. To show my appreciation Every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dearest friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.